much, man. How are you?
Good, man. So how was your trip getting down here?
That was good. It was good. It was supposed to be about a 5-hour trip. It ended up being about 14 total. So Philly got some rain. I think they got hammered pretty hard. So, but I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, the East Coast has been getting fired up with the rain. My parents live near Ellicott City, and Ellicott City was, I don't know if you saw that. They were like in this flash flood where the whole town was.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy. And I heard that Philly was kind of like that. Philly area, yeah. So tell me what's going on with the rat bags.
Well, rat bags. Well, we're still in the early stages of this thing, so there's a lot of moving parts and pieces. We got a website coming up soon. Our other member, Paulie Popo, him and his wife are taking care of the website. So I'm hoping in the next few weeks we'll have something on that, and we'll have some merchandise, some sample packs. Of course, our content, maybe some of the Facebook stuff and videos and all that. Along with some rat bag music, we're going to get some rat bag music on there and, see where this thing goes.
Are those hats going up for sale?
We'll hopefully have some of these hats, hopefully have the other members with hats so we can get the other rat bag members hats. These were kind of like just to see what it would look like. So this is my daughter's creation.
A little bit closer so everybody can see it.
This is Naomi's creation. It's when you look at the guy, he's the guy that is kind of cast out. He's got his little backpack full of gear. He's got his little MPC under his arm, and he's just saying, I'm down. Let's go make some music somewhere. And so that's what Rat Bags is about. Rat Bags is a collection of people who all have different skill sets, and what we do is we support each other. Some of us are better with the financial business side of things. Some of us are better musically. Some of us are really good with lighting and cameras and stuff like that. And we all have one thing in common, is the music, is the MPC, that kind of stuff. So you have one person that believes in you in life, one person that really believes in you, and you'll succeed. And right now I have a lot of people that I believe in. And so I feel like this is a win-win situation for anybody that wants to be a part of Rat Bags. I feel like this is actually going to work. And this is grassroots. This is word of mouth.
Yeah. Full disclosure, I'm part of the Rat Bags group too.
Yes, he is.
And we got Quincy, we call Q. He's out in Los Angeles.
Yep.
And we got Vinny, who is in El Paso. And Paulie is in
St. Louis.
And actually, Paulie is how I met you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I went to your YouTube channel, which is I Will Create. And on your YouTube channel, you had you were sampling this box.
Oh, the Nightmare Machine.
Could you tell everybody about that?
Yeah, so my thing is that I make and create unique soundscapes using synthesizers, using, homemade contraptions. And one of these contraptions is, I call it the Nightmare Machine. And what it is it's an old household fuse box, a metal fuse box. And I got 2-foot springs. They're about this long, maybe 1-foot springs, and they're attached inside the metal box, so it acts like a spring reverb. And then I got contact.
It looked like an old spring reverb.
Yeah.
That's what I thought it was when I first saw it.
There's door stops. They're like little spring-loaded door stops that you see in any household. They're chains, and I've got a 3-foot metal ruler that is attached with clamps, and then I've got a violin bow. And when you run the violin bow across the springs or across the 2-foot ruler or 3-foot ruler, I don't know how big it is exactly, it makes really crazy sounds. It makes like horror movie sounds. That's why I call it the Nightmare Machine. But with the contact microphone that's in it, you can run all that audio straight into the MPC. And so for that video, that's what I did. I sampled this thing using all kinds of crazy sounds, and then in real time made a beat. So that's the kind of thing I like to do. I want to do something that's different. You know, I want to make sounds that people won't recognize. Because
what about that kick drum sound that I heard you play? Oh, and another thing. Reason why we're looking like we're looking is because we were up last night working on music. So, you know, when the rats are in the studio, you know, we're not all dressed up at all. We just wake up and start working. Yeah. You know, and so what was that kick drum that you were playing last night?
That I think was a combination of a chain that I had in my hand.
It sounded like an 808? That was it?
Oh, that was the digitone.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that was something a little bit different.
Okay.
Yeah, so the digitone is made by Electron. It's an 8-voice polysynth, but it's an FM synthesizer. So it takes kind of that DX7 model, but turns it into a form that's understandable for people, because the DX was very difficult to program.
Like it's like that DX200 box that never took off, but it was a great box.
Yeah, and the sounds that you can get from FM is just it's my kind of sound. It's craziness. It's
you like it better than analog?
It just depends, I guess, on the you know, how you're utilizing the sound. I like all sounds, so I don't know if I like it better or worse, but
it's different.
It's different, definitely.
Right.
You gotta have you have to have the taste for FM synthesis. Some people think it sounds terrible.
Well, I mean, FM synthesis ruled the 80s.
Yeah, and that's
every single song that came on the 80s.
Yeah. So when most people hear it, they think 80s. And for me, I wanna make that 80s sound. I want to take that 80s sound and I want to put it into something that is current. And gonna kind of change the mood of that sound. And that digitone, that thing uses subtractive synthesis techniques, so you can actually grab a cutoff filter and turn it, which you can't do on a DX7 because everything's menus and buttons. So they've turned it into an analog synthesizer style. So it's a great box.
You know, the one thing that I like about FM synthesis, and this is just one small thing that I haven't heard any other type of synthesis get, is those icicly sounds.
Yeah.
I like that. And it's not that it's my favorite sound, but if I want to get it, I like that.
Yeah, you can't really get those sounds with analog gear. You can mimic it with like ring modulators and stuff like that. But to really get that, I mean, we could even do a little demo to show that sound you're talking about. But that sound is really unique to FM synthesis.
Yeah.
You know, you've got phase synthesis. You've got analog. You've got your mono synths, your poly synths. There's so many different kinds of synthesizers, and I love them all personally. You know, I'm definitely kind of a tech kind of guy, as well as, you know, I don't know if I call myself a musician. I'm more of a synthesist. I mean, I can play. I love to make music, but it's the sounds that get me.
You're more attracted to the sounds.
Like I want to make the sounds that people use in their tracks. You know, I want to hear my stuff being used in a way that gets people fired up.
Have you ever thought about doing soundtracks for movies?
You know, I've heard that a couple of times, that would be a good avenue for myself, because I do enjoy that kind of work. I haven't looked into it much. You know, I'm not a big movie guy. What I do like about movies is the soundtrack, you know.
Yeah, because Trent Reznor, I think I mentioned this to you before. Trent Reznor did the sound. He's done for several movies, but the most notable one to me was The Social Network.
Yeah.
And the sounds were just, oh man.
And he used that
Nightmare Machine.
It's kind of like that. It's like a Schumacher or something.
I'll see if I can find it.
Yeah, it's crazy though. The stuff that thing can do. It's basically,
Like a theremin almost.
It's like a theremin. It's like this little slide that goes back and forth, and it's like the kinds of sounds that it makes just makes the hairs on your neck stand up. I mean, look at that. I'm getting them right now, and I'm just thinking about it. And I mean, that's what happens to me in sound. That's how I know I'm in the right field.
Right.
You get something that gets your blood going like that, you know you're doing something right.
Yeah. That's great. You know, the one thing I like about what you're doing, this is something that I really like about it, is that you're finding all these sounds. So when you come with the record, with the song that you release, it's going to be different. I think I told you this before when I heard one of the tracks you were doing, and it was one of those tracks where it was one of those performance tracks where we'll never hear it again.
Yeah.
But I caught the performance, you know. It reminded me of Daft Punk's first record. I think the other records after that, sorry Daft Punk, you sold out. You know, but when I was in a bookstore that around the time they had record stores, this was in the 90s. Well, people that know Daft Punk know when they came out. I was in a record store and I heard a bookstore and I heard something playing over the radio. And I said, "Is this the radio?" Said, "No, this is a CD playing." I said, "Who is that?" He said, "That's Daft Punk." I said, "What's the name of the CD?" He went and got it out of the CD player. And showed it to me. I said, "Okay, thanks, man." He said, "Yeah, this is a bad album. This was their debut album." I left that bookstore. It actually wasn't a bookstore, it was a car. I'd like to thank you for coming by to the Mrpiratebrain channel. My name is David D. I hope you enjoyed the first of our 3-part series of the interview with I Will Create. We will be uploading part 2 in a few days. So please like, subscribe, and share this video. And also hit the bell below, and that way you'll get notifications when we upload the next videos. I hope you enjoyed it, and I really appreciate you coming by because I know you could have been doing something else with your time. Until next time, bye-bye.